Hello, gorgeous Sagittarius. We have a full moon on October 13th or 14th, depending where you are around the world, in fiery Aries. And full moon in Aries tend to come with a lot of energy, as Aries is a fire and cardinal sign, fire like you, ruled by energetic Mars. And but with the full moons being emotional, we may be driven by our feelings to take action and can be moved around by emotion. Sometimes these emotions can get the better of us and we can blow up and be more easily irritated, frustrated, and annoyed. So, since the start of October, there have been some tense cosmic energies, and if you have been feeling highly strung or easily frustrated or overwhelmed, there is going to be a huge release point on offer to us under the bright Aries full moon. I would say when these emotions get out of hand or get the better of us, we can, if you get irritated, frustrated, or annoyed, a healthy outlet for these feelings that surface during this lunar phase is probably a good idea. It's a time to release ourselves from the shackles we have become bound by, and under the light of the full moon, we will be guided to unlock the doors and help free ourselves from any self-imposed barriers we have been hiding behind. So we have to remove the masks we have been hiding behind, and it is time to be our true authentic selves. We also have Pluto that's very active under this full moon energy, and with the Pluto energy, we will be encouraged to keep shedding the layers that hold us back, so we can rise to our fuller power. We need to come out of the shadows with courage to share our energy with the world, because that is why we are here. That is why our souls bothered to make this courageous, scary, but beautiful journey to Earth in the first place. It's to share who we are, our energy with the world. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so and it is ruled over by the energy of number 1 in numerology, which is about leadership, ownership, and showing up exactly as we are, free of attachments, just like babies, and insecurities, and ready to bring all of who we are into the world. So, like I said, just like babies. But we may have collected insecurities along the way in our personal life journeys. And it is moments like these, like the full moon Aries, where we are reminded to break free and to see our fears as illusions, as they are. So this energy wants us to make sure we are not hiding away our true selves or sacrificing too much in order to make those around us comfortable, or to ensure that we are not doing the reverse, such as allowing our ego to overwhelm or smother another person's truth or energy in some way. So besides releasing us from our self-imposed prisons, this full moon is also going to be challenging us in our relationships. So in relationships in general, not just romantic relationships. As we are still in Libra season, and Libra is all about relationships, yes, we do still have that relationship, dealing with relationships factor there. So if you had any relationship issues, or there were issues present under the Libra new moon back in September, this full moon could also bring some new information to the surface that will allow you to find closure in some way. So it will be a good thing. And while this energy will be motivating us to break free, it will help to check in and ensure we are acting from a place of love rather than ego. As Aries is a fire sign, and with the fiery quality to this full moon, it can make us want to be hasty and rush, force, and jump into things head first. I would say stop, breathe, and reflect before you take action. If this has been the case in any relationship in your life, you may find that the full moon pushes you to take action or to make some changes. So just stop, breathe, and reflect before taking action. Otherwise, you might regret it later. Relationships in general that are no longer serving your soul's growth may be released under this energy. Or you may decide to set some new healthy boundaries. So take a look at what limitations have been working against you that are preventing you from moving forward. And what thoughts or beliefs have been blocking your progress or standing in your way. Take a look at those as well. Now, as the Aries energy is, as Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, full moons in Aries, the energy of the full moon in Aries, can be one of those special times when you finalize plans to start something new and see the successful completion of something that you started maybe long before. Okay, so you could say that it's kind of like the end of the beginning or the beginning of the end in some way. So whatever happens during this time can determine whether something lives on and makes it all the way or falls apart and loses its magic. So with this full moon, we have Pluto. Full moon is squaring transiting Pluto in Capricorn, which is an aspect that brings difficulty. Squares are always difficult aspects. But Pluto really amplifies anger and aggression. And you may find yourself fighting more over power and control. And you may need to take a step back. This is a difficult transit, as I said, and there may be some major fighting of some sort with this full moon. So I would suggest stop, breathe and reflect, and then take action if it is really required. Don't do anything that you will regret later on. This full moon also is transiting Jupiter in Sagittarius and in your sign Sagittarius. And trines are an easy or a good transit. So all Jupiter wants us to know is to try not to be so serious. Don't get sucked into the drama. Don't be so serious. That's all Jupiter is trying to tell us. And the full moon being on an Aries Libra axis, which is square to Pluto, where the energies might push some of us to be tempted to assert our claims to power ruthlessly, and conflicts can hardly be avoided if not careful. So it depends on your natal chart as well, if you are more lenient towards the squaring of the Pluto or the trine of Jupiter. So I would say stand by your light. Don't be a doormat by any means, but do not be afraid to show your weaknesses either. The strong energy of these days could well be used for a deep personal process of clarification. The feeling of uncertainty can make you solve problems faster than you normally could. So it's a good time for that. So I would say don't rush as if there was a deadline, and try to slow down so that you can decide what it is you really want to do and proceed at your own comfortable pace, Sagittarius. But Sagittarius, you are in the 5th house, and 5th house in Aries full moon, it can be a good or a bad thing. So You may find that you break up with friends or someone you love. But there's the good news. Full moons aim to provoke your vulnerabilities and not to destroy you, but so you can enforce them now and prevent disaster. If your closest relationships are in good working order, this moon will likely pass with no effect, but there will be still tensions and they may still run high, and people around you could be angrier than normal, which is blame it on the moon. And if you end up falling out, just know that if it's happened now, well, then eventually it was going to happen, and probably in a more explosive manner later down the track. But what is the fifth house? Let's have a look and see what the fifth house is. What are you exactly dealing with? Okay, so when we're speaking about the fifth house, we are speaking about pleasure. The fifth house is about joyous activities, creativity, entertainment, playful nature of the child within, personal expression, and it's about all colours of the world. It's about something that is constructive and beautiful. In Latin, it's nati, which translates to children. So it refers not only to children we raise, but to our own child within. So it reflects to also relationships that are not marriage related. So it could be like a brand new relationship or something that is not that hasn't gone further deep into a committed relationship. So if something happens during this time to those relationships and you break off, then it just means that it was meant to be that way. But all in all, in general, the fifth house is all about it's about leisure time, opportunities, play, creation, creative expression. So playing games, things like that. So it's more so of a fun house. That's all what I can say. But it's not about committed relationships. It's more about romance. It's more about just maybe dating, or you have been dating for a little while. It's not anything too serious or committed, etc., etc. It's one of those houses. So you may find people around you being more angry during this time. It's normal because with the Pluto squaring Capricorn, that's going to make a lot of people angry during this time. So if you are not one of those ones who are angry during this time, try to keep it quiet and step back. That's all I can say. So let's have a look and see what the tarot has to say for you. I do have a full moon layout which consists of 5 cards, and let's see for Sagittarius, what do we see? 5 cards. 5 cards for Sagittarius. So we need another 2, and we've got another 2. Okay. The first card resonates with the question, what are the energies that you have attracted or manifested since the last new moon? And what I have here is you have actually sorted out a lot of either people or situations or thoughts or beliefs and ditch them. You've kind of like cleaned up your plate. It's like, this is like ending. You've kind of ended certain things in your life since the new moon, and it has been like a cleansing time for you. So that is what you have attracted, and that is what you have been doing since then. So let's have a look and see what the second card says. What needs to come into your consciousness? What needs to come into your consciousness is your ability to tame the lion. It's like you have the ability to use the iron fist in the velvet glove technique with anyone. So you have that strength. It's not the lion that has strength. It is the maiden who tames the lion that has the strength. So if you are female and you're dealing with someone who has anger issues or situations like that, like you have a lion that you have to turn into a pussycat, well, you are the perfect person to do that at this time. So that needs to come into your consciousness. Okay? The third card here is about what no longer serves you and needs to be released. Okay, maybe you have been dealing with people traveling to you or you traveling to them, and in international connections in some way. This could also be related to your children in some way. So this is something you no longer need at the moment during this time. So that is something that you can release. Okay. The fourth card here represents or resonates with the question, how can you release and let go of these energies that you no longer need? Okay, we do have the Page of Wands here, and the Page of Wands is about communications, and it looks like this person is standing there looking at their phone, either talking to someone on the phone or sending a text message or reading some information on their phone. So it is saying that the way you can release or let go of these energies that you no longer need is by communicating. Communicating via your mobile phone or sending some messages or even talking to them face to face, live. So that is the way to release these energies. What can you learn from this experience to make magic happen? Well, I do see here that this card looks like there are a lot of people kind of in combat or kind of in maybe challenging each other or in competition, or they could be even fighting. Okay, so it says that fighting, challenging and all that kind of does not help you. It's more about the passion. You need to have more passion about what you're doing, and that is exactly what you have learned from your experience. Okay, so that is your astrology and your tarot relating to the full moon in Aries, and I hope you enjoy the Aries energies. So Sagittarius, may love and light be with you always. Take care, have fun.